Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are talking about the Solar Dragon. Yes, this story is really good. If you haven't read it, go read it before you watch this video and then come back and see what you think of my review of this. So basically, in this book, is awesome. He starts out as an old man, Tommy Old Man, as a teacher. What was that teacher from? Dino Thunder Black. That's right. So that's basically him being an old man after the Power Ranger thing ended. And this story is all about coming of age, okay? So don't take this as, oh, it's the Tommy story. Because it is, but it isn't. So in the story, they talk about JJ and they talk about Catherine's relationship. Now, you know, in Once and For Always, Catherine and Tommy were married. So, and they had a son named JJ. In this, JJ is part of SPD. And I'm going to show you some pictures in it. So I'm going to flip around when I'm talking and we're going to find some pictures. I'm going to show them to you. Because I'm not going to bore you with this talk. No, you're going to see some pictures. So in the beginning, he's in his apartment, talking to his colleagues and his friends, and he's getting ready to retire. He goes to the doctor because he has some back issues, and he's remembering the past of him being a Power Ranger, you know, and what happened to his morpher in his last battle. So look at this artwork. This artwork is so cool. And anyways, in his last battle, his morpher got cracked. You know, he morphed into the Green Ranger, morphed into the White Ranger, and you can see here his morpher got cracked. But he gets a phone call from JJ, you know, just talking to him, you know, son and dad talked. You know, I'm trying not to spoil it, but trying to spoil it a little bit. And so later on, JJ runs into the gang that he's trying to find. So JJ is part of SPD, trying to hunt down this gang that's making, you know, problems. And the next thing you know, he is missing, and Tommy runs into JJ's best friend and says something to Tommy about how he left SPD and no one has seen him in, you know, days. And so Tommy is going and calling different, you know, SPD and stuff and talking to SPD. And SPD goes, didn't you know he quit? Blah, 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 blah. No one told him. And he talks to Catherine saying, hey, Catherine, I'm going to use it again. And Catherine's like, I understand. Go find JJ, but be careful because you know. Talking about the morpher being cracked that he's going to use. And so he hooks up with JJ's friend and he goes to a bar. And this is awesome. He goes to a bar. It's all aliens. You know, you've seen this before in space and stuff, you know. And basically he's asking too many questions. Too many questions, right? So what happens? They start attacking him and beating him up. And yeah, so you already see he turns into Dino Thunder Black there. But before that, he tells him, you better not do this. You don't want to do this. You don't know who I am. And he goes into his Dino Thunder Black, you know. Yeah, and he starts kicking butt, basically. And then he gets hit really hard and demorphs. And, yeah, so his powers are kind of iffy in this. You know, kind of goes back and forth. And they are looking, and he gets told that, you know, JJ's in a warehouse. And so they find the warehouse, and there's JJ holding a Green Ranger crystal, basically. The gang has a few other crystals that look just like the crystals that JJ's holding. And JJ asks, what's your favorite color? And JJ's like, I know what my favorite color is. Basically, it turns into this Green Ranger. Oh, yeah. I love this look. Hasbro, you should have done this. And then Tommy saw it all, and he shifts into Turbo. And yeah, him and JJ gets into it. Really cool, you know. And JJ basically kicks his dad's butt. Basically. Him and JJ's friend falls. And when he lands, he demorphs again. Hurts his back. And realizes what's going on. And he decides, you know, these crystals remind him of the power crystals that him and his friends used to morph back in the day. And he only knows one person that could defeat these power crystals because they remind him of Rita's Green Ranger time, you know. And so he goes and knocks on this door. And who's behind the door? Finster's behind the door. And he's an old man. Look at that. He's an old man, Finster. And Finster says, I got something that can take away Rita's powers, you know. And so he gives him this thing. Now, I'm not going to show you because it's kind of cool. But, so Tommy takes it, and JJ's friend takes it to go to the next battle, basically, you know. And he gets to the place that they're going to, and he's going into Zeo, basically. And again, the way they drew Zeo is really cool. And so he's looking for the JJ, the bad, evil JJ, you know. And in this battle, JJ yells and screams at his friend and said, "I'm undercover, you idiots," basically, you know. And Tommy's like, "What? Undercover?" And they just start arguing back and forth. It makes sense, right? And they see a shadow, and who's the shadow? Not Rita. Oh, no. Okay, I forgot to tell you guys. This is part of the reason why Scorpina... They explain why Scorpina is still alive compared to what happened. Because this is after the Zeo wave. So this is based after the Zeo wave. The Z wave, you know, Zordon's wave. And so there's Scorpina. And Tommy and Scorpina starts getting into it. And, yeah... Basically, Scorpina wins in this case. And, God, doesn't she look great? Doesn't she look great in this? Scorpina's one of my favorite characters of all time. Anyways, yeah, so she takes JJ into a different dimension to find out later on that the crystals in him are being used by Scorpina to actually have a sacrifice to bring back... Well, I'll get back into that in a minute. But Tommy goes back to Finster's to find out Finster's dead, but he made a clay monster of himself, so the clay monster can talk to Tommy for the one last time as Finster, and basically he apologizes and, you know, tells him what's going on with the crystals and what he knows and all that. Basically, JJ is up for a sacrifice, okay? And that's pretty devastating, but look at this. I mean, you can see, you know, Finster dead, and you can see the clay monster of Finster. It is cool. It is very cool. And yes, I'm flipping through this so I can find pages as I talk. But then they get in the backstory of Scorpina and Rita and all that before the Z wave, and how Rita sent Scorpina to a different dimension, and there was Satan, what was the guy's name? They can't remember the guy's name now. Ooh, but basically, I call him Satan, Great Satan, because that's what they named it in Super Sentai. But as you can see, there you go. She's right there with them. And you'll see, and then after Zordon's tube got cracked by Andros, everybody else was destroyed but Scorpina, because Scorpina wasn't in the same dimension, basically. And that's something totally different. And when she comes back, she had so much time to get the crystals and all that. But yeah, Scorpina, you know, there's traditional Scorpina, and then there's newer day Scorpina, and it's really cool. But basically, they go to that dimension, and Tommy morphs into the White Ranger. That's right. So basically, we went from Dino Thunder, we had Turbo, we have Zeo, and White Ranger now. And the only one we are missing is what? Green Ranger. So basically, he has some of his other friends with him, as you can see. And this is the great battle. You know, this is the great battle against Scorpina. Not anybody else. It's just Scorpina. And, yeah, see, Scorpina has the crystals in her hand. I mean, this is really cool. I mean, this is different. And even Kat's here to battle. Catherine is here to battle. So, Catherine, some of the other old-fashioned Rangers. Tommy has a White Ranger. And, basically, he loses his powers. He gets smacked hard by Scorpina, and you see big Scorpina, the new monster. Not the old monster, but the new monster, and it's really cool. And he knows if he morphs again, it's the last time he's ever going to morph into the Green Ranger or whatever color Ranger he is, because he's already lost all the other powers, so it would be the Green Ranger. He throws the morpher to JJ. There you go, JJ as the Green Ranger. That's right, JJ becomes the Green Ranger. And because, I don't know exactly how, they really didn't explain it, but basically JJ morphs and is so strong because he's so young, the power to stay with him. And he defeats everybody, Scorpina, all the different monsters, and you know that guy. That's Great Satan in Super Sentai. In this one, I still cannot think of his name. Boa? But anyways, yeah, so basically, JJ saves the day as the old-fashioned Green Ranger, so he took over his dad's shoes. Again, coming of age, right? And so Tommy is totally retired now from being a Power Ranger. JJ's back from being bad. You know, this sounds just like the Green Ranger saga, kind of, right? But it's a little different because the SPD is involved and he's just undercover. And again, this is where, if you ever watched anybody talk about wanting the special JJ with the Green Ranger shield, this is where it comes from, guys. This is where it comes from. It comes from this comic book. I always was wondering before I ever read this comic book where it came from, and it's this. See, I mean, that does look cool. SPD with the Green Ranger shield. You know, that's awesome because I guess he was the Green Ranger SPD anyways. And then I'm going to show you some of this. This is the art from the actual artist, and there's a lot of it. I'm going to show you each one. Okay, so there's JJ. JJ is that really cool Green Ranger. I like that Green Ranger, I really do. And then you got Scorpina, his friend, and oh yes, a little teaser for Power Rangers. It's a little teaser right here. See that? And you get a few pages of the Power Rangers. And this one looks like the really evil one because I didn't read this part because this ain't part of the comic book. But it looks like it's where Tommy basically destroys everybody and kills everybody as the Green Ranger. And I think it's the beginning of this. I think that was a dream. But I haven't read it yet because it wasn't part of this review. So this is amazing. I might not have said it correctly how it goes, but this is amazing. This was a great pickup, and yeah, I suggest anybody that's a big JDF fan. Like I said, JDF actually worked on the comic book itself. Boom Studios. It's a good overall. You know, there you go, Boom Studios. If you, like I said, if you haven't read Boom Studios, any of the Boom Studios Power Ranger comic book, everybody says, what is a good way to start reading the Boom Studios? I think this is, because this is a story on its own. You get the feel and the concept of how they do the Power Rangers comics and how they look and everything. You don't have to worry about issue 1, issue 2, issue 3. You just have one story right here, all done, all complete, front to back finished real fast. And it's about a good 30-minute read, if that. But it's fantastic. I have nothing bad to say about this. And I think if you want to get the full story of it, go pick it up, read it. I can't tell you everything. I mean, I would have to sit here and read page by page by page. And believe me, I'm not going to read you page by page by page. I can show you page by page by page and all that, and how Tommy gets destroyed as a young kid or a young adult, and his Master Morpher gets destroyed and all that. But overall, this was an amazing pickup. I suggest anybody, like I said, who likes JDF, who likes Power Rangers, who likes these main Power Rangers, and see how Tommy loses it all. How he loses it all. I mean, he loses every power in this thing. And he does it because he's trying to save his son. And that is just amazing to me. This was amazing. And I have no complaints about this. I mean, I love the battle at the end where he becomes the Great White Ranger. Now, as you know, I collect the stuff. As you see in the back, that's the game, the board game from my childhood. And that's the Zeo Morpher over there. And yes, I'm not by my normal location. I'm actually in my room because my wife right now is doing a TikTok, and I was trying to not to bug her. So that's what the music is behind us, is TikTok. But overall, this is great. This is fantastic. Go pick it up. A 10 out of 10. And this is what I'm talking about. This is true greatness. And this is what I want to be doing now. Yes, I'm still going to do toy reviews, but I also going to do comic book reviews. I got stuff on these shelves over here that you have never seen, that are comic books, video games, and I will be doing those too. And I also play guitar. I have a whole effects setup behind this camera and 3 different guitars in this room that I can play and show you exactly. And those are my big toys. Those are what I call my big boy toys, because you can make a career out of it, and they're all colorful. I even have a anime pedal that's kind of neat. But anyways, thanks for watching. Go buy it. If you don't own it, go buy it. Don't download it. Don't do that. Don't download it on Kindle or anything. It's not as fun as flipping through pages. And plus, if Kindle goes down, or any of these other services ever quit, you lose everything. This you can have in your hand, you never lose it. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on my next video. Peace.